So we'll be discussing on Kibana, what are the changes we have made in Kibana and introduction of Kibana to PeopleSoft. And we'll also be discussing on Logstash, which has been added to Elastic Stack. And then we'll go to the different use cases for Kibana, that is from an end user perspective, a business analyst perspective, and administrator perspective. And then we'll be discussing the tips and best practices for this deployment. So now at a very high level, overall, when we look at the flow of how PeopleSoft Search has evolved, we started on with Verity in 8.5, with moving from Verity to SES in 8.5.4. And that's when we also introduced the search framework. And at that time frame, we had both Verity and SES supported. And in 8.5.5 patch, we moved on from SES to Elasticsearch. And this was in line with improving the scalability of different applications and to provide greater options for customers. We moved on to Elasticsearch in 8.5.5. And 8.5.6, we had further updates in Elasticsearch and moved on to the later releases, and also moved on to heavy volume indexing for Elasticsearch. And then in 8.5.7, we introduced Kibana to the Elasticsearch stack. And Kibana in 8.5.7 was primarily introduced for the purpose of system and indexing metrics. So we brought in Kibana more like a system administrator tool in 8.5.7. And then from when we moved to 8.5.8, we have now opened up Kibana as a tool for all PeopleSoft users. That is, Kibana can be used for doing various analytics and visualizations which you need in varieties of ways, which we'll go through more in detail across the session. So this is one of the major transitions as we moved from 8.5.7 to 8.5.8. From an Elasticsearch stack perspective, we have introduced both Kibana and Logstash, and also made Kibana applicable or usable by all the PeopleSoft users. So now just quickly go through on what we have in here. So first, to introduce Kibana to some of the people who may have not yet used it. Kibana is one of the open source tools provided by Elastic, that is the parent company which gives us the Elasticsearch, Kibana, and Logstash applications. And it's an open source tool primarily meant for visualizations. And Kibana supports data aggregation based on various fields and parameters, and it has multiple mechanisms to filter data, and it uses ways to bring in a variety of visualizations and charts. So it could be charts based on geographies, or it could be charts based on different analytics or data tables. All this kind of charts is brought in from Kibana side. And then we have given a easy manner to add Kibana onto PeopleSoft by
it's going on. No, it's going on.
By giving the option to configure server. And so here we have the mechanism to configure.
Can you reconnect it again then?
Shamsir, you're, I think you're still not on mute. So we have the option to specify Kibana server and what's the different kind of configurations what can be provided. So this option is primarily for usage in 8.5.7 for Kibana as an administrative tool. Now from here, these are some of the dashboards which we have provided in 8.5.7. These dashboards are primarily meant for usage of system and system metrics and indexing metrics. These are the Kibana dashboards what you find in 8.5.7. And then now once we have moved on to 8.5.8, So this is where we have now went a step ahead and brought in Kibana as an visualization tool for all PeopleSoft application data. So every data which you have today in the search definitions can now be viewable and aggregatable using Kibana. And there are quite a few dashboards delivered from PeopleSoft application pillars like HCM and FSCM, and they can be created by end customers as well. And then we have also took care of data security. That is, every data which you see in Kibana, whatever you visualize and analyze, conforms to the row level data security, which applies to the searchable data. And then we have given different ways of bringing in Kibana content into PeopleSoft by using our standard tiles and related information. And then we have also given the provision for specifying different the Kibana dashboards with various roles and users in PeopleSoft. So this is the custom login screen, what you would find for Kibana. That is, there are two types of access we provide to Kibana. One type is for the end users, they can access Kibana visualizations directly from the PeopleSoft pages by means of tiles and related information. And for the administrators, they can access Kibana through a separate direct login screen, which we have provided, which ties up along with PeopleSoft security and PeopleSoft login mechanism. Then the next step we have done in 858 is to introduce Logstash to the ELK stack. And Logstash is used in 858 primarily for the purpose of the PeopleSoft Health Center. So Logstash is a tool which is used to bring in data from a different kind of sources and send it to Elasticsearch. And we have used Logstash to offload the work of getting in data related to PeopleSoft Health to make that data flow via Logstash. And this is what you would find as part of 858 delivered functionality. That is a Logstash powered Elastic PeopleSoft Health Center. These are some of the, this is the dashboard which we have delivered for Health Center for using Kibana and Logstash. These are some of the different charts what you would find in there. And from here, now we'll go through Kibana from a deeper perspective and showcase and explain Kibana from various perspectives like end user and what an analyst will do and how an administrator will work through. So at this point, I'll hand it over to Shamsir. Shamsir, you can please take it over.
Yeah, thanks, Ram. Am I audible now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah, so as Ram explained, so Kibana we started in 857 in our ELK stack of Elasticsearch DPK. We introduced both Elastic Kibana and Logstash, and the first use of it was as the monitoring side of the visualizations, wherein we had the system monitoring and indexing metrics, etc., visualized through Kibana. And when it comes to 858, as Ram explained, we have expanded that into the use of application data visualizations. So Kibana, in a broad view, that if we can classify the users into multiple groups, we can broadly classify that into three separate units. One is an end user, actual end user who does a view. When an end user would require an analytic to be viewed from the PeopleSoft application side. So we can treat it as a direct end user for the application visualizations. And the other part would be a dedicated user, like a business analyst or a functional admin who can create and edit visualizations and charts, etc., which as required can be updated. So there are some more rights into that user. And to top all, there will be an administrator full control into the Kibana application. So we will go through the details here. So let me start with the end user view. So in PeopleSoft, we are allowing the data to be presented or the analytic to be presented in two forms. One is as a PeopleSoft tile. So you must be familiar with the PeopleSoft tile architecture already. So Kibana can be added, or Kibana dashboard rather can be added as a tile in the home page, or it can be a related information in a component. So these two modes gives you access into a summary of a dashboard, and then on click it can get into your detailed view of the dashboard. So this user's view is restricted. It can be made in the case of an end user who wants to see the dashboards. There are some privileges that is assigned to the user, whether it's an user with edit access or a display only access. So in this case, where an end user with only the view access, wherein the tile. So for example, here the first two are in the early detection and monitoring, and the trend analysis is some charts which are delivered already by the FSCM payable operations. So here in this example, on click of this, so the first view would be the tile view, and on click of it, it would allow you to see the detailed view of the dashboards. So Ram, if you can click on it. Yeah. So the presentation in the detailed view would be like you can have one or more visualizations in a specific dashboard. So the entire view is limited within PeopleSoft now. So yeah, whatever you see here in the tile and on click, it is getting into a detailed page. These are all happening within PeopleSoft. So the complete control is within PeopleSoft. And so yeah, Ram, please go ahead. Yeah. And in the component related information view, so this is the second type of access which is available, wherein a configuration will be done. So we'll talk about the required configurations, etc., that need to be done in the later stages. But the end user will have a component access, so they will, as usual, directly get into the component. And in the component right pane, there will be a section of visualizations in that. So in this example here, the application external versus internal is a chart which appears, and a model pop-up can be done in to get the detailed view of the dashboard. So in this case, there is no additional configuration as such required for an end user to view. But in the case of a tile, the tile need to be added into the home page. So that will be an additional task in the case of a PeopleSoft user personalization that an end user will have to do. Otherwise, things are more or less the same for the component related information view or the tile view. And the next type of view would be the business analyst usage, wherein, as I mentioned earlier, the end user, the second type of user would be with a more access given into the Kibana. So wherein this you can take it as a functional or a business analyst needing to create visualizations in Kibana, wherein there'll be a limited control given into the so administrator will give some extra privileges for this user, and he can directly get into Kibana, and Kibana can be accessed into certain set of data set which is allowed for the user, and create charts on that, and create a visualization and dashboard into that, and then finally bring in into the PeopleSoft with the help of administrator. So the access is not completely available for the end user business analyst, but having a specific set of roles provided to this user, he will be able to add or edit Kibana dashboards overall. So this is an example here. The difference when we compare with an end user view versus a business analyst view is, here in this case, you see that the top left corner wherein the open in Kibana is highlighted there. So that link appears for an end user with edit access. So what it means that on click of that open in Kibana, it will take the user to the Kibana console itself. So at this point, we are actually moving from PeopleSoft into the Kibana environment. On click, it would take you into that. So for example, this is the view an end user would get. So in this case, the open in Kibana will bring the in a new window, there will be an access completely given into that dashboard in which the edit access is given. And you can see that the highlighted ones in the left and the top side of the Kibana environment, these additional controls will be given to that user. which means that the user is having full control into this dashboard, and he can update or clone the dashboard into create another one. Now comes the administrator access, where the access will here will be full control into Kibana, wherein when we say full control, it is like Kibana is will have to display all the indexes which is available for creating visualizations, etc. Those level of access will be provided to this user. In this case, for example, the other users did not have access to create an index pattern, which this administrator can do that. And also, like the business analyst or a functional admin who creates and view the dashboards, the same rights will be available for administrator as well, where he can create, update, or remove. Actually, in fact, remove is the additional capability given to this user, wherein any such metadata in Kibana can be controlled by this user. In addition to that, once the Kibana dashboards or visualizations are created, it need to be imported into PeopleSoft. So this access is available only for an administrator with such administrator access. So this user can come and import these Kibana dashboards into PeopleSoft and make the additional configurations required for getting it presented as a visualization, as a tile, or a related information. So those additional access, which are all an admin level access, is only limited to the special user as Kibana administrator. And a bit more details into the the way the Kibana can be used, and the administrators will come and help you to get an index pattern created. To just briefly touch upon what an index pattern is. So when we deploy and make an index available for search in global search or in the keyword search, those search indexes are the same ones which are even accessible for Kibana. So it is like Kibana is acting as an outer layer on top of Elasticsearch. So the same data set which is already indexed for your global search can be used here in the Kibana visualizations itself. So there is no additional index as such need to be created unless there is a requirement for that. So in this case, once the Elasticsearch has that data available in it, in order to prepare an data visualization, the first point of the first task that need to be done is to create an index pattern, which is nothing but a reference to the index, and that can be done here, which is done by an application an administrator. And then once the index pattern is created, then on top of using that index pattern, we can create visualizations. So when I say visualization, Kibana has a wide variety of visualization capabilities. For example, some of them are available in this chart, in the presentation itself, like area chart, control chart, data table, and lots of other supported visualizations already available. So using those, you would be creating a visualization using the index pattern that you have created. And with that with that visualization that's created, you can create a dashboard. A dashboard is nothing but one or more collection of visualization that you have created. It need not be from the same index pattern. A dashboard can have multiple visualizations coming from different different index pattern altogether. So dashboard is nothing but a collection of visualizations. So once these dashboards are created, then the next task would be to go and import that into PeopleSoft. So for that, there is an administration page in PeopleSoft, which is in the navigation, search framework, administration, and import Kibana dashboards. So why it is required is the entire data or the dashboard display through a tile or a related information is actually initiated from PeopleSoft with the help of these configurations. So even if you have created your dashboards in Kibana, it is not sufficient that in order to get it displayed in your PeopleSoft. So these steps are important. As an administrator, he would be doing this. And on click of these the dashboards here, you will be able to click and get the or import the dashboard, which is which you have created in the Kibana, and then bring that entire metadata into PeopleSoft. That specific action is done here. So once these dashboards are imported, then the next step would be to get this available as a tile or a component level related information. So here in this configuration, it is also in the same navigation, search framework, administration, Kibana visualizations. And here what you do is you need to configure it as a tile or a related information. There are some specific data that you will have to provide here. First is on a unique content reference that you need to provide, because all these tiles are nothing but another syrups which is coming into PeopleSoft. So you are giving your content reference name and a meaningful label for your dashboard in the tile. And then what is the required dashboard that you need to provide here. So here there are two types of dashboards that we need to provide. One is a full view, which is the detailed view with multiple visualizations in a single dashboard, and the tile view, which will be your related information first view or the PeopleSoft homepage tile view. So those two dashboards are selected here, and you can also provide the required height and width required for the tile. Once that is done, you're all set for presenting the data in the dash in the Kibana in the PeopleSoft homepage. So that's the part where we have the Kibana settings done. And another configuration which is important, equally important, is the deploy Kibana dashboards, wherein this would be used when you want to either migrate from one environment into the other environment, or if PeopleSoft PUM image gets you some delivered dashboards, it would be directly coming here and then deploying it into your Kibana environment. So that this specific step is done by done to ensure that your data which is available in PeopleSoft is getting copied into Elastic into the Kibana environment. So that is the step here. And the next step of this step is only to limit the usage. So as we already discussed, we have dashboards created and imported into PeopleSoft. Now it's next is the set of security that we need to provide. There are multiple levels of security which is going through while we see a dashboard. First level would be to see that whether the user can have access to the dashboard or not, which is controlled here in here. So what type of access is required? So here in this example, job posting details has a role assigned, which is nothing but the PeopleSoft role, which is defined in the PeopleSoft user profiles. We're giving that search job postings here and with the privilege of edit. So as I mentioned earlier, a privilege of edit allows a user to get into Kibana with open in Kibana link appearing in the dashboard, and then do the required necessary changes into that. Whereas a privilege with view will not allow you to get into Kibana. So that restriction is clearly mentioned here. So this is the page where you configure that. And next is a create access, which is in the second grid, which is available here as role uh, as a search developer, or you can provide for that matter any role that is applicable. What it does is, if you want to directly log into Kibana and start creating it, it is in addition to the administrator role. If you want someone else to be helping you with creating dashboards and visualizations, that point in time, if by providing this additional role, and if that user has that specific role, then he would be able to directly log into Kibana, and based on the index pattern created, he would be able to create visualizations in that. So this is an additional role which will help, and other than an administrator user can get into Kibana and then do this. Okay, now let's get into the life cycle. So this will be the overall life cycle here through the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first step is, let's assume that PeopleSoft is creating the Kibana objects in for FSCM or HCM for any application, and then delivers it in the form of ADS projects and packaged in the PUM. So the step number 1 will be the development from the PeopleSoft application side, and it gets delivered into the customer through a PUM package. And the second step would be to, you are receiving that and then applying that pump into your database, PeopleSoft database. And then the step which is the deploy objects to Kibana. So this would assume that you already have a setup which is with an Elk installation already done, and then Elastic and Kibana up and running. All your indexes are deployed and the data is searchable. So at that point in time, you're deploying your Kibana objects into your Kibana and Elasticsearch environment, and then validate the visualizations in that. So when we do validate, we will have either it in the form of a tile or in the form of related information or directly logging into Kibana. So these are different types of validations that as an end user validation that will be happening. So after that, if 1 and 2 are over, if there is a need for a customization to be done or to enhance further on what is delivered already by PeopleSoft, then in that point in time, our recommendation is not to work on the same object that is delivered. It has to be um, uh, on a completely new dashboard, which is cloned from the existing one. So in that case, when we do clone, it is just not sufficient that the data dashboard is cloned. Just like dashboard visualizations and related metadata, etc., are all different objects in Kibana. So whichever items that you are planning to modify, each of them need to be cloned and then separately created. And after doing that, the same steps that I discussed earlier, like importing to PeopleSoft and then configure it as style, etc., has to be repeated here, because at that point in time, Kibana does not know, or PeopleSoft does not know that you have cloned something new and then you want to use that in your PeopleSoft environment. So that's the why step number 3 is required, because it is it has to be definitely a cloned object creation. The reason for that is explained in the number 4, because if a PeopleSoft application is delivering something again as a revised version, then at that point it should not overwrite it. So just for that purpose, it is good to always ensure that the objects are cloned and then created. And yeah, step number 5 is nothing but it's again applying and doing the same operation which is actually done in number 2. So this is the overall life cycle for an Kibana object maintenance. Okay, so this is an important one because we have PeopleSoft is already delivered with Pivot Grids and Simplify Analytics, and in addition to that, now we have Kibana also as visualization tool. So where and why do we need these different types of analytic tools? So the answer is simple. We have both of them with equivalent capabilities. Pivot Grid and Kibana also has the common features like the security is taken care, and the cost involved in getting additional changes, etc., are very minimal. But in addition to this common set of capabilities, Pivot Grid and Kibana has its own features as well. For example, Pivot Grid, if you can take it as in the PeopleSoft context, the data is readily available, and it is as soon as you update a transaction, the data is readily present in the Pivot Grid for in the database for Pivot Grid to take and give you the data. But the difference is it is working on PeopleSoft, so your app server and the database will be fully involved to present you with the data. So there is a possibility that when the data volume is higher, the equivalent pressure will be on the app server and the database side. So to counter that, in case of Kibana, your primary data source for Pivot Grid, while it is database, for Kibana it is Elasticsearch. So the data which is already available and indexed in Elasticsearch is the source for Kibana. So when a Kibana dashboard or a request to visualization goes in, it is actually doing the job in Elasticsearch without having any impact, which we can say it as a zero impact into PeopleSoft. And so with that, with the capabilities of Kibana and Elasticsearch, it can process very high volume of data, and you can get and a presentation of into a visualization can be from a very huge volume of data, which is not possible in the case of a Pivot Grid. So The performance and speed in case of the large volume is definitely a positive for Kibana, whereas the contextual transaction for the real-time data which is required, the pivot grid will help you to get uh, the data soon. So that's the overview on between pivot grid and this thing. And now we can go get into the deployment tips and best practices. So when it comes to deployment, we have some of you will be already familiar with how Elasticsearch architecture works, and then how it is in PeopleSoft integration. Um, so in this architecture, you can see that the PeopleSoft is one unit and Elasticsearch cluster is another unit. And we can have a load balancer in between PeopleSoft and Elasticsearch, where mainly the load balancer will be representing a load balancer for PeopleSoft. So this is the current existing architecture without Kibana, wherein our recommendation is that you need to have three node architecture, out of which one of the node will be by default selected as a master node in Elasticsearch. And there is no need for an explicit load balancer in front of Elasticsearch. The reason being, Elasticsearch cluster itself will do a load balancing between their nodes. So there is no need for a specific one, but even if you have it, there is it shouldn't be a problem. It will work smooth. And so what are the things that we need to consider in setting up an Elasticsearch environment is, our first and foremost recommendation is that do not install Elasticsearch on the same server as PeopleSoft. There are some reasons for that, because first of all, we don't want the same resources to be utilized for Elasticsearch where PeopleSoft is being installed. And Elasticsearch in general requires its own dedicated heap and good amount of resources for speed or fast delivery of the search queries. And as I mentioned earlier, the architecture, we recommend it as a three-node architecture. And in that architecture, why we recommend three-node architecture is nothing but to ensure the high availability of the cluster. So high availability need to be ensured by having replica shard set. So shards are nothing but the partitions of your index. So in addition to your primary data, there will be some replica data also set by Elasticsearch, which is nothing but just in case, in an unseen case where one of your data node goes down. In that point of time, the replica shards or replica data from your available active servers will become the primary, and your search will not be disturbed, and it will act as a high availability solution for Elasticsearch. So ensuring multiple nodes is a good option to do. And in addition to what Elasticsearch provides as a capability on a high availability, in PeopleSoft side, we also ensure that the search at any cost should not be compromised. So in order to do that, we have the search instance page where you gently set up one of the instance of a three-node cluster. But when you do that, if and only one of the instance was given, and if that instance node happen to be going down, then in that case, your entire, even though you have set up high availability in the Elasticsearch cluster with multiple nodes, but you have not configured that in PeopleSoft search instance, then it can cause an issue for you. So in that case, what you need to do is in the search instance, you can provide all the nodes which are associated with that cluster. So in the case of a non-availability on one of the server or the first server which is configured in the search instance, PeopleSoft will directly sense that this server is not available, and then it will start searching through the second instance available or second node available from that instance. So this is a pretty important configuration that will ensure a high availability despite you have high availability setup in the Elasticsearch side. And So we have from 8.55 onwards, we support Elasticsearch, and there are some configurations which are required in the Elasticsearch.yml file in order to set up the cluster. So those we started with Elasticsearch 2.3.2, and then we moved on to Elasticsearch 6.1.2 in 856, and then in 857, in 858 we have Elasticsearch 7.0. So all these versions, when it moved from one version to the other, Elastic is also making drastic changes in the way their cluster balancing is happening. So if you are familiar with the architecture which was in 2.3.2, then there will be a few changes which in your Elasticsearch YML file, which we have already taken care, will will have some changes like minimum master nodes is removed, and in addition to that, there are some cluster level settings which are completely new in Elasticsearch 6.2 and 7.0 compared to 2.3.2. So these are some changes which we have already taken care through our DPK. But in case, if you come across that these values are not available in just because of this reason, and the reasoning behind that is Elasticsearch cluster management, while detecting the master nodes, they had some formula applied in the beginning that is completely changed now, and based on the dedicated master nodes which you have given, so those master nodes will be automatically detected by Elasticsearch and gets that. So there are these changes which if you are familiar with the 2.3.2 architecture and then moving on to 6.1.2, you may see some differences in that. The other big change is in terms of heap size. So you can see that es underscore heap underscore size was the configuration which is used in es 2.3.2, and even our documentation was talking about es heap size as a configuration. But now with 6.1.2 and 7.0, there is no more this environment variable usage in Elasticsearch. Instead, all are configured in the jvm.options configuration properties file. So this is a change which we have, and as usual, our recommendation towards the RAM versus heap is still the same, wherein the recommendation is that to use 50% of the available RAM um, uh, of your server, which is not exceeding 30 GB. So the reason behind this is, so even if you have 120 or 256 gigs of your RAM in your system, but Elasticsearch would not need anything beyond 30 GB. This is There are two primary reasons for that. The reason one is the more heap associated into the Elasticsearch, it requires more time to do the garbage collection. So because of which there will be a delay or more um, time reserved for garbage collection, which can cause an issue for the cluster balancing. Second is having more having an entire allocation into the RAM can cause other operations in the Lucene, which is the underlying engine of Elasticsearch, which can cause issues there. So it is the best practice is to always keep it less than 30, so that Elastic will have a very good management in terms of heat. And there are, as I mentioned, there are changes in the configuration properties, which we have already by default taken care in our DPK. Now, when it comes to Kibana, so all these were on the Elasticsearch side, and now we are introducing Kibana into that. So Kibana, when it get introduced, there are two possibilities. To, so one is that the application index visualization itself can be on one Kibana. So when I say one Kibana, it is just a representation of a Kibana. It can be a collection of Kibana done through a load balancer server. That's completely possible. But when it comes to Kibana, it is a lightweight engine. So because of which it is okay to do the Kibana installation in one of the existing Elasticsearch nodes. So the first block here, the Elasticsearch cluster 1, simply represents the application index visualization, wherein the architecture includes the node 1, node 2, node 3, which is a 3-node cluster of Elasticsearch. in addition to that, you have in one of the node, for example, here in this one, node 1, you have the Kibana. So all these configurations will be made in your search instance in PeopleSoft. So that is one part of it. Second is, as Ram mentioned, we have the metric and health center also supported through the ELK stack now. So if you want to retain or if you want to make use of the same Elasticsearch cluster, which is like Elasticsearch cluster 1, also for these additional metric visualization purpose, that is okay to do. But if everything gets piled up into Elastic Cluster 1, then there is a chance that the resources are getting pretty heavy utilized, because most of this monitoring task will be like very frequent updates happening. So it is a good practice to have another Elastic cluster wherein you can dedicate your all monitoring activities, including health center, can be moved into a completely different server. So in this case, that configuration, which is for the Elasticsearch cluster 2, is as Ram had earlier mentioned, this is a completely separate configuration, which is a configuration page for Elasticsearch monitoring. So at that point, so you can have a completely different Elasticsearch cluster specified compared to your mainline one. So some of the best practices here is, as I mentioned, Kibana is not the bottleneck or heavy utilized, heavy resource utilization engine. So because of which, it's okay to have an installation of Kibana in one of the server. The CPU and memory consumption in Kibana is very less compared to Elasticsearch. So what happens is that whenever a Kibana visualization request comes in the form of a tile or in the form of related information, that request is getting converted into Elasticsearch query. So that Elasticsearch query is the one which is doing the heavy job of getting all your data which are allowed for you to view. So there are additional security and filters applied, and that processing returns back with the data required for Kibana. So Kibana is just acting as a layer where request is sent and the response is processed, and then your client as a browser will be presenting your data into it. So that way, Kibana is very lightweight. But the only issue we can see is that it is a single threaded one. So because of which the advantage is that it will not use any additional core. If you in a multi-core environment, you will have your resources completely available for the Elasticsearch to consume, and in some occasions Kibana may use part of that one of your core in it. And so we have specific configurations for heap that we talk about in Elasticsearch, like you need to do 50% and the other level of configuration to worry about. But Kibana does not have that level of complexity. Kibana by default comes with 1.4 gigs of memory as interim, which is in most of the cases would not be requiring to change because that itself is a huge number for Kibana. Just in case if there is a need, then there is a property for Kibana YML file where we can set that and change that into the required level that we want. The other important point is on the load balancing side. So as we mentioned, so Kibana, when during the installation time using DPK, Kibana installation is just a pointer into one of the Elasticsearch nodes. So it can be an Elasticsearch node as such, or it can be a load balancer of Elasticsearch, which by itself Elasticsearch has the capability of load balancing through a coordinating node. Something called a coordinating node is the one which can internally do a load balancing within Kibana, which basically means that you don't have to go for a third party or an additional load balancer within Kibana, within Elasticsearch. So this load balance, Ram, can you move on, please? Yeah. So this architecture here simply points into a possibility wherein you can have each of your nodes. So Elasticsearch nodes 1, 2, and 3 are the ones which is represented here. You can have your Kibana installation pointed into the specific node that you have, and then each of this Kibana will be individually pointing to its own Elasticsearch node. And at the end, when you need to configure that in PeopleSoft, you can either configure it, one of this Elastic Kibana server can be configured, but in order to load balance between these servers, it is good to have a load balancer, a separate server available in between, and then that load balancer server is the one which you will be configuring in your PeopleSoft. So that way, any request from PeopleSoft, so for example, multiple users and multiple web servers, so the PeopleSoft side will be load balanced as such, and that will be having an additional load balancer in between for Kibana will also balance out the usage of Kibana resources as well. So this is a sample diagram in which a load balancing possibility with Kibana. As I mentioned, within Kibana, it is also possible to do different types of Elasticsearch cluster load balancing, which is internal into the Elasticsearch cluster as such. And another important point is so now onward we would be creating the Kibana visualizations, and for creating visualizations it requires an index pattern, as I mentioned earlier, which is nothing but a reference to the Elasticsearch index. So one point in terms of PeopleSoft architecture with Elasticsearch, what we do is we ensure that the data, the index which is getting deployed, for in this case, you can see that HCHR job data is the HCM data index, and which is also suffixed with an additional value, which is nothing but the DB name. And the reason why we are doing that is you can use the same Elasticsearch cluster to connect into multiple PeopleSoft instances. For example, you can have complete all of your non-prod environments, like your development environment, your system testing environment. These are all pointing into the same Elasticsearch cluster. So in that case, if you want, when you do a search from, let's say, your dev environment pointing into job data, and also your system or UAT environment is pointing to job data search. So in each of these cases, it requires that logic within Kibana, within Elasticsearch, to get the data only for that specific index which is deployed from that database. So in order to classify that, we are suffixing the index name with the database name. So why is it important here is, in the Kibana context, whenever there is an index pattern is created, if you use that complete name, HCHR job data underscore H92 NMS02, when you do that, that index pattern becomes a solid one-to-one relation between that database and your Kibana analytic, and that will work only for those indexes which are deployed from that database. So in order to generalize this, the way that we are adopting is HCHR job data is the index name, and after that, when you provide a wildcard in the index pattern, so when you create an index pattern, you would be providing the index name and then a wildcard, which is a star. When you do that, you need to create or deploy your index pattern only once into that, and it would be applicable for all your other HCM environments to make use of job data for analytics. So naturally the question will be, then is that data secured? Yes, we are doing the security by connecting that database, doing a callback into PeopleSoft, and ensuring that that user logged in from ABC database will get the data only applicable for ABC database and based on that user's privileges. That way it will be limited, but the index pattern generalizing with a star ensures that you can use the same index pattern across multiple pillars. So that's one point here. Um, yeah, yeah. This is just an example wherein the way it is CHR job data underscore star is created. Likewise, we all the delivered indexes from PeopleSoft or index patterns from PeopleSoft will have the same strategy adopted. Okay, I think that's all we had to cover. So if any more information required, so always this Oracle booth will be there, and you will be assisted with all this all the help required. Yeah, back to you, Ram.
Yeah, thanks very much, Anzir. So just to check from Axel Events, do we take any questions? Do we have any questions? Christina or others? So is there any question? Not sure how much more time we have. Sorry, I'm not able to hear anyone. Okay, so maybe. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, fine. I went to the Q&A section. I see some questions in here. Maybe the first question, probably Christina or anyone, can you please let me know? Do we receive a copy of the presentation? Okay, so that one I'll leave it to the session administrator. Second question I see is, sorry, will there be a session on building queries using Kibana? So when you say queries using Kibana, I mean covering the creating initial dashboards or visualizations. So that one, probably Matthew, maybe if you'd like to answer, if there's any further session also, that would be helpful. But so also in general to explain for queries in Kibana, most of the queries are automatically built by Kibana depending on the nature of charts what is used. Apart from that, there is an option to create saved searches in Kibana, so that gives some additional options to create queries. And then I see that Matthew has answered some of them. Dipankar has answered some. Matthew has already answered a few of them. I see one question from Sunita Reddy. Is Kibana included in PS license, or do we have to purchase license to Kibana? And Matthew has already answered that Kibana is included in PeopleSoft. So Kibana is an open source product, and from PeopleSoft side, we have got all the requisite license to be able to ship it with our product. So then I see one further question, Liz from Liz North. Does Kibana report in real time, or does it rely on Elasticsearch index builds or similar? Yes, we have a scenario we want to use Kibana because PS query for the pivot is extremely complex and slow. However, it needs to be real time, otherwise it's useless to us. So 2 points in here. So first is Kibana is drawing all its data from Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch is the data source for Kibana. The Kibana dashboards are as much up to date as much as the Elasticsearch index is. So that's something which has to be considered. So it is not real time. It is at least right now it is not real time. It is as much up to date as much as the Elasticsearch index is up to date. Then the last question I see is from Andrew Hall. Can Kibana allow for reporting on PeopleSoft data and a third-party database in the same report? So at present, we have not provided the integration with third party. That is up to PeopleTools 8x8. We have not provided an integration for third party as of now, up to PeopleTools 8x8. So and Kibana allows for reporting on PeopleSoft data. Yes, so once the data is indexed in Elasticsearch, this is available to be viewable in Kibana. So these are some questions I see in Q&A. Apart from that, so requesting the administrators, is there a way to open up for live questions as well? Christina, or can anyone, Karen or Christina, can you? Shanti, you can hear? Or,
Yeah, I can hear you.
okay.
I don't think they're similar. Yeah.
Okay. So we have answered all the questions in Q&A. If there's any further questions, you can please feel free to reach out to Christina and Taryn, and they can help guide uh, getting your questions to us. Um, so, so that's it from our side. Christina, Taryn, anything you would like to add or any closing comments? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks everyone, and have a nice day ahead. Thank you.